So hello everybody and welcome.
Hello.
Hello.
Hey, John.
Okay, all right. So
Hi, John.
hopefully everybody has gone around and installed their MAMP server. Yes?
Yes.
Okay.
Kind of.
That's okay. Can you
Oh,
all
yeah.
see my screen?
Nope.
I haven't installed mine, but I'm just going to follow what you're saying, and then I'll follow up later.
That's all right. You can all see my screen though?
Yep.
Yes? You can see my screen?
Yeah, but
There
I
we
think
go.
we probably need to turn our microphones off because every time somebody moves or says something, the screen goes away and a picture pops up. Or something. I don't know. Maybe I just don't understand how this works.
I think you're right, Tammy.
That's better.
Okay, you are all muted, I think. So there is a chat window. If you click on the left-hand side, there is a Q&A, I think. Can someone post a question just to check that that's all working?
I
I
can't
can.
post a question.
KO doesn't let you? Okay. Oh no, up the top there's a chat window. That's what we're looking for. Little blue chat up the top.
Aha.
Okay, cool. So if you have any questions, mute your microphones. If you have any questions, pop it in there, and that way your faces won't appear and my window won't disappear. All right, so MAMP. Hopefully everybody has downloaded this from mamp.info and installed that. So when you go, once you've got all your folders downloaded, you should have Divi, MAMP, Project 52, and WordPress. Just ignore Headway there. That's the theme I use. So I just installed that. I just downloaded that to show you with installation. And your Divi may be a different version. I don't actually use it, so this is a copy someone has lent me. So I could just install it for you guys because I don't even ask me any questions about it because I don't use it. Okay, so once you've got MAMP installed, go ahead and open it. And it should come up, and you'll see that it comes up I don't know if you can see this because it is fairly small. Can't even increase the size, but it says Apache server and my MySQL server, MySQL server, and they've got little dots on there, and you can see it's the stops. It says stop servers instead of start servers are turned green. That means all your servers are running, so you can run PHP scripts and JavaScripts, and we can go ahead and install WordPress. So once you've opened that, if you click on Preferences and you go over to your web server, you will see your document root folder. So we go ahead and we can open that up, and that is where we are going to load WordPress in this folder. The other thing I want you to do with MAMP, we can close this preference and click on the Open Start page. And this brings you to here. So before we can install WordPress, what we need to do is we need to create a database. So we click on PHP info. No, not PHP info. We click on PHP my admin. And this is where we create our database. Sounds scary, this looks scary, but trust me, it is really, really easy. Click on databases. Name your database, you can call it whatever you want. I'm going to be really creative and call it WordPress. In a real life situation, you would not call it WordPress. So on your live site, you wouldn't call it WordPress. And if you're doing a one-click install on your host, then they will create the site for you. But for your local host, people don't have access to it because it's on your machine, so you can call it whatever you want. And then just click on create. Your database has been created. That's it. That's all there is to it, to creating a database for it. So you can go ahead and close that. Open that HTTP docs file and open your, when you've downloaded WordPress, you've got this zip file, which is for version 4.3.1. Open that, and that zip file, inside that zip file is a WordPress folder, and copy that to your HT docs file. This is your actual WordPress to be up and running. Now, this, as I said earlier to others on to people that have just joined us will have probably didn't hear, was MAMP is not for hosting your website to have people log in and see your website, your clients and everything. This is just, MAMP is just for you to be able to use WordPress on your local computer. So for example, me as a web developer who designs and publishes websites for clients, I do all the development on my local machine. And then once I've done that, then I copy it and I put it on the client site. So I don't work on their site. I do it all on my local computer. Once that's installed, you can rename this folder if you want to. Now, you can install WordPress on here as many times as you want. You can have 20 different versions of here. So if I was to go to my www folder, you can see at the moment I've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 versions running in my my normal local service. So you can have as many versions in this as you want. But you just need to rename this folder. So I'm going to rename this to Divi, just so it's easy for me to type in because it's less letters than WordPress. When you're in there, that's your actual WordPress, all your files for WordPress. They all look scary, but don't panic too much. So what we want to do, now this is where it gets a little bit different depends on whether you are a Mac user or a Windows user. If you're a Mac user, you will type in localhost, I think it's colon 8888. I'm just going to double check that because I'm not a Windows user. I'm not a Mac user, I'm a Windows user. Yeah, so, sorry? Is that? Okay, all right, cool. All right, I don't use Mac, but it is, I've double checked it, it is, it depends on the port, but it is generally 8888 and it is with the colon. But for me, it should be, because I'm a Windows user, I should just have to go to localhost and Divi. All right, so this brings you, as soon as you go navigate to your folder, so we've installed WordPress on our machine, but we actually need to install it to the database. So this is where we go in and set it up. So you would choose your, so this is installing WordPress. Now this is identical if you were installing it, say, on HostGator, Bluehost, GoDaddy, heaven forbid, or any other.
John, you're gone again. We lost you a while ago.
Am I back again?
Yes, you are. Thank you, sir.
Hello? Am I back?
Yeah, I can hear you. I think I can hear you.
I can hear you too.
Okay, I'm back online. Okay.
Yeah.
All right, so all we set was a database name. We didn't set any of that. And in your live site, you will, but for your local host, you don't need to. So we just hit let's go. So database name was WordPress. If you didn't name yours WordPress, you would put your name. Now this is where you need to change your username to root and your password to root. You can change your table prefix if you are running multiple WordPresses on the one database. So remember I showed you can install multiple WordPress folders. You can actually use the one database. I don't recommend it, but you can. Otherwise just leave it as blank and hit submit. If you're using WAMP instead of MAMP, like I normally do, the password is blank. But for MAMP, M-A-M-P, your root is your username and root is your password. So then you click, all right, Sparky, we've made it through. So we click on our run the install and we're all done. So now we can name our site. So this is what will appear as your site. You can change this at a later date once you've got WordPress all up and running. So I'm going to call this site Divi Tutorial. You can change your password by typing in another password. I'm not going to do that. I'm going to cut and paste that just so I remember it, because otherwise I won't. And type in your email and your username. Now, under privacy, untick that just to make sure that bots aren't crawling this site, because this is on your local machine. You don't want Google and that trying to log into your site when you're on the internet, when you're connected to the internet. So just untick that. I don't know if they do, honestly. It may make no difference leaving that checked, but I always uncheck it because it just gives me that little bit of peace of mind, but it's probably a, nothing to worry about, but hey, that's just me. Click on Install WordPress. Congratulations, we've just installed WordPress and we can go in and log in. Type in your username and password. And here we have WordPress fully installed. Okay, everybody can unmute themselves if they like. I'm going to take a pause here and allow you to ask any questions. So if you have any questions, unmute yourselves. If you don't know how to do that, click up on the little box up the top and it should have a red box around the microphone, which means it's muted. No red box means you're right to speak. So fire away if you have any questions. PT, yes, each folder is a website. You can have multiple websites on your one domain. You can even have a subdomain. you're with GoDaddy, so you can actually have a subdomain to your domain. So you could have pt.com, and then you might have divi.pt.com. Okay, why don't I like GoDaddy? I actually have sites with GoDaddy, and as long as you choose a Linux server, they do multiple servers types. They do Windows and Linux. If you do Linux, it's a lot better than the Windows one. However, majority of you, all of you are photographers. Their caching speeds are very slow, and it makes your site run slow. So the more you have trying to load, the slower it'll run. They are not quick servers. That's why they're cheap. You get what you pay for. So if you're trying to show your photos in the best quality, pick a faster server. GoDaddy is Linux. It is also Windows. But GoDaddy has also launched GoDaddy Pro, which is a dedicated WordPress installation. I have no experience on that. And if you ask any web developer out there, they will tell you to stay clear of GoDaddy. If you're running WordPress, then yeah, HostGator is okay. If you go in, let me just see if I can bring this up. WordPress actually have listing of their most recommended. And I can't think of the name of it off the top of my head. Most of my clients go HostGator because most of my clients are small, medium enterprise, and they're smaller clients that don't want to spend a lot of money, except to me, of course. Charge them a fortune. All right, WordPress recommended hosting. I think it's called. I think Bluehost and WP Host are the top ones. Here we go. WordPress.org hosting. So yeah, they recommend Bluehost. Nah, and there's nothing else on there. They are revamping this page, and so they had a page, but it's gone.
John, the way you showed how,
Anyway,
John, the way you showed,
no differences for regional. You can have your site hosted wherever you like. Have I got any more questions about installing WordPress and creating the database?
John, can you hear me?
Feel free to unmute yourself, guys, and fire away. Guys and gals, I should say. Forget some of you aren't in Australia. And oh, I can't hear you, Carol. You're muted. Hang on, I will unmute you.
Okay. Can you hear me now? Can you hear me now? Nope. Okay. I'll keep typing away. Thanks.
No, she's muted again.
John, can you hear me? Can you hear me, John?
I don't think he can hear us, but we can hear him.
Okay, Carol, you keep. Oh, okay. Hang on. Let me check. I'm not hearing you. Okay. I'm hearing beeping. Settings. Okay. Someone try talking to me?
Can you hear me, John?
Can you hear me? Can you hear me, John?
No.
Hello? Hello, John, can you hear me? I can hear Paula's teaspoon.
That isn't me. That's
Oh, okay.
Bonnie. Bunjani. Damn it. Yeah, I know. I'm sorry.
Don't know why I can't hear you guys. Even through my speakers, I can't. I tried changing it to speakers, and I can't hear you. Anyway, okay, I can read the chats though. I don't know what's happened there. Carol, in the way I showed you to install WordPress is that's the way you install WordPress. Doesn't matter whether it's on localhost, doesn't matter what plugin, what theme, or anything like that. To change from GoDaddy to Bluehost is really easy. But there are some steps involved in moving your site. Yeah, PT, you keep muting me, you're muting other people. Okay, all right. Yeah, I don't know what's going on there. I've got to work out why I couldn't hear you guys. Okay. Okay, are we ready to continue and start working on how we install themes and installing plugins? Okay, all right. Okay, I'm going to show you two ways to install a theme, and that's why I have headway themes there and Divi themes. I'm going to start with the manual way. So let's go back to where your download folder is and open up your Divi, and inside your zip file is a folder called Divi. Copy that and then go back to your MAMP folder, your htdocs folder, and where you installed your WordPress. If you've closed that, remember you can click on here, go to Preferences, click on your a web server, and click Open to do it that way. And under your WP, when you're in your WordPress folder that we unzipped and put in there before, you've got a WP content folder. So in their folder is plugins and themes. So your defaults comes with 2015, 14, 13, and there's a new one now called 2016, which is installed by default. So if you look at if you go back to your WordPress dashboard, this is called the dashboard, go to Appearance and go Themes, you will see you've got 15, 14, 13, which corresponds to here. So paste in your Divi folder that you copied off out of the zip folder. So if you copy and paste that into here, and now if you go over here, back to your dashboard and hit refresh, you can still see now that you've got Divi installed. So if we go in and view our site, you will see that this is our current theme, which is, this looks exactly like 2015 because it is. If we click activate on the 2014, so that shows it's active now, and refresh our website, you will see that's changed themes. So if we go ahead and activate Divi and refresh, our theme is now Divi. PT just asked a question: if moving from GoDaddy to Bluehost, will he lose his whole website? Not if you use the right steps and the right programs. There are plugins. If you're using WordPress, there are plugins that copy your WordPress from one site to another, which I will cover off after. Okay, so that's how you manually install a theme, by copying it into your WP content themes folder. Now I'm going to show you the automatic way to do it. So while we're in our themes, you can see up here there's a button called Add New. So this is where you can choose free themes. So these themes are all available on the WordPress repository, where WordPress themselves host a whole heap of themes, thousands and thousands and thousands of themes that people have submitted that have passed their security checks and everything like that, and they are free for you to do with whatever you like. They are OpenGL, so you can see there are quite a few in here. These are just what they've got as featured, but you can go and search for themes. So let's say we wanted responsive. You could search by responsive themes. You could search by photography. And you could find some photography themes, all of which
Paula?
are free. Now, free themes
I can hear you blowing your
are
nose.
very plain, okay? But they are free. So you might find something that will do some of what you want it to do. All right, but these are installed, so you can just click on them and you can click on install. You can preview them, so you can preview what your website would look like. Otherwise, we can go in, and at the top here is a button called Upload Theme. So you can choose your file, navigate to and install your Divi zip file. I've already installed Divi. I did this the manual way, so I'm not going to install that. That's why I've got Headway there. I'm going to install Headway and install that, which is my favorite. Okay. MAMP has a limit of 2 megabyte file size. So it won't allow me to install a file that is bigger than 2 meg. So what you can do though is, I'll show you this, 99% of the time you probably won't need to do this, but I will show you. So if we open the start page, and we want to go to, no, not there. I don't want to go to there. We go to open our server. Under here should be, no, under map, htdocs, no, where is it? I don't actually know where it is. I'm looking for a php.ini file. As I said, I don't normally use MAMP. Okay. Anyway, I'm not going to be able to because this folder is bigger than 2 meg. So I would need to install this the manual way. But that is how I'm going to go to WordPress.org. I'm going to download a theme. Let's download this one. 2 meg, bigger than 2 meg. Let's download this one. It's only 300 kilobits. So now, let's try a different one. So go choose file, and where's my Skeletos? So open your zip file, and click install now. Yes, to install the automatic way, your folder has to be a zip file, but you will always, a theme is always zipped. When you download it, it's always zipped. So now I've installed that. You can see I can activate it straight from here, or I could preview it. But now you can see it's here. So I could activate that if I wanted to. And now when I refresh my site, it's now this Skeletos theme, which looks pretty horrible. So that's how you install a theme. So type away with any questions should you have any. What should you look for in a theme as photographers? One that does what you want it to do. Look for in a theme, one that presents the images in its best way possible, and also showcases who you are. It's not always, website is not just about displaying your photos. It is also about telling your story. It's your marketing tool, so it's about you and your business, which is you. You're marketing yourself. So yeah, so that's a bit of a hard one because no one theme is going to fit one. And Divi is popular because it's people like it because it's easy to use. It's a drag and drop builder. It's not the best one out there, but it is easy to use. Whereas Headway, which I use, isn't as easy to use, but it's a lot more versatile. All right, so yeah, Divi is a great thing to start off with, as for someone who really just wants to set up their site, design it how they want, and then just worry about the content. It does take care of a lot of stuff for you. Personally, if you want the best of both worlds, it's Headway Themes and Beaver Buddy. But that's a whole different kettle of fish. Watch Don's course over the next coming weeks that he's going to be doing, and then decide on Divi for yourself. Okay. All right. Any more questions about themes before I move on? Because I'm about to start off with my plugin. You can change your theme at any time. The biggest thing you're going to watch with themes is if a theme installs a custom post type along with it, which is a different story. Don't ask me questions about that, because that takes me down a whole different path. If something installs with a theme and then uninstalls when you deactivate the theme, then you lose that content. Okay, so whereas, for example, if it's just normal posts and normal content, then you can switch and swap your themes as much as you want. If that theme then installs, say, a gallery or a slider, then when you deactivate the theme, then that slider and that gallery are gone. Sort of. They still exist in your database, they just won't no longer appear on your site, and you will no longer see them in your admin. That's where plugins plugins are separate from themes because themes should be about the look, plugins should be about the content. Divi is a theme. My Project 52 is a plugin because that handles content. A lot of developers put content elements in their themes. I think that hopefully that made sense. Okay, plugins. So if we go to plugins, when you install WordPress, two plugins are in there by default. I have no idea what Hello Dolly is. When activated, you'll randomly see a lyric from Hello Dolly in the upper right of your admin screen on every page. I have no idea why they put that in there. So I delete. Straight away from every WordPress install, I delete that Hello Dolly. Now, Akismet. Akismet is a spam protection that you have to activate and register your API, and from all intents and purposes, it is meant to do a great job. And I just love to delete it. But if you are going to be heavy, if you are going to have comments active on your blog, on your posts, then it may very well be worth you keeping that installed and doing the whole activation. Okay, so let's go in and add new plugin. Now this is exactly the same way as installing a theme. So you can see there are quite a few, you can get quite a few plugins and you can search and do everything else just like with the themes. You can get these from the WordPress repository. However, we're just going to upload a plugin, which of course is mine, Project 52. And this is version 1.0.4, which nobody has except Don and me, because this is the version that will be launching at the end of my Kickstarter. So almost a sneak peek for you guys. And then hit install. And activate. Now, when you install it, it comes up with recommends installing this admin columns. You do not have to install this plugin for my plugin to work. That's why it's only recommend. But I do recommend it, and we will go through why later. So we install that. And that's now successfully installed. Activate. And it's now activated. And the reason why I recommend this plugin, just to give you an idea, if we click on all posts, you can see you've got these columns here, tags, comments, the date, the author. And what that recommended plugin does, it allows you to go to admin columns and you can change, so you can see anything with content. So you'll be able to do my quotes, the quotes over here in my Project 52 folder that you guys, that's part of my plugin, quotes, contacts, projects, settings, etc. So you can change the quote, the contact, and the product. So let's just show you. So you can see, if you remember, if I open that, we had author, categories, tags, comments, dates. Author, category, tags, comments, dates. So you can remove these. You can remove the author. You can remove the tags. You can remove the comments. And then click save. That's been saved. And now when you refresh, you can see than only categories and dates. We could add a column. And you could put in the excerpt. You can adjust the width. Let's make it 25%. The excerpt will make that 30 words is fine. And you could drag that. So you could drag that up and update it. And now when you go over to your posts, you can see there's a blurb on on an excerpt on what's in your post. So it's a really handy little tool. So when it comes time to using my plugin, when you got contacts, you can have the contact name, their phone number, their email showing in here. So you've got so quickly from the dashboard, you can, from all your contacts, you'll be able to see everything. So you can customize what you see in this snapshot. So that's why I recommend it, and that's why it becomes very, very, very useful. But that is how you install my plugin. So any questions? Carol, I will be going through the plugin, and Tammy, yes, I will go through my plugin very shortly, because this will finish off installing the theme and the plugin and MAMP first, because then I'll stop broadcasting on YouTube, and then I'll demo the plugin.
John, did we lose you? John.
Hey guys, I just logged in on my machine and I can't see any of the content he's showing. I can see it on my phone, but not my machine. Are you guys seeing it
Okay.
all?
Can you hear me now?
Yes. Can you hear
And
us?
why can't you see my content? I can hear you now.
Oh, you can? I don't
Yeah.
know. I don't know. I'm on my machine and I can see everybody's photos, but no content whatsoever of yours.
Okay.
I'm on mine and I see the content fine.
Weird.
Okay. I just stopped and restarted my screen sharing to maybe hopefully that can help you.
Okay, thanks.
Okay. All right. Has anybody got any questions? Because I can actually hear you now. Has anybody got any questions about installing MAMP, installing WordPress, installing themes, or installing plugins?
I don't have any questions, John, but thanks for what you did, because I understand it so much and I'm not as scared anymore.
Excellent.
What are the main plugins that we should have on our websites?
Pardon, what was that?
What's the main plugins that we should have on our website?
The main blog ends.
No, I'll type. Hold on.
Plugins, she said.
Plugins. The ones you need. There are thousands of plugins out there. The biggest ones I recommend are a caching plugin like WP Super Cache and WordFence, which is to prevent security hacks. If you are going to be moving sites, so like moving from let's say you've designed your website on here, you have everything perfect the way you want it, and now you're ready to move it to your live site, your live domain, then you would want a plugin called WP Duplicator. Is a free one to move your sites. Otherwise, you would want Backup Buddy, which is a premium site mover, which I think can also do scheduled backups. So you can always have a backup in place. So that way if somebody hacks your site, so you have if it automatically does a daily backup, so if anybody hacks your site and you lose all your content or whatever the case may be, you can restore. As photographers, you will understand backing up and the importance of it. You know you only ever have to do it once, don't you? Okay, I can't hear anyone, so I'm assuming I've lost your voice.
I'm here. I back up.
Cool. Excellent. Okay, so you all know you only have to back up once, don't you?
Back up once.
Yeah, you only ever have to back up once, right before it crashes.
Oh.
No?
So as long as you've got that right before it crashes, right before you lose everything, you're good to go.
Thank you.
Right.
I will remember that.
So if you know exactly when your computer's going to crash, just wait until then. If you don't, back up every day.
Okay. I used to tell my students save early and save often when they were working on their papers. When you're working on a website, do the same thing. Back it up somewhere, because there's nothing worse than having to start over from scratch.
Correct. And Backup Buddy is worth every cent.
So John, where do you back up? Do you back up like is the site you're hosting your WordPress theme on? If I would imagine I would be hosting it on some theme. Can you have an extra space there to back up to, or do you back up to a whole different space?
No, you can back up. You can back up to your local computer to download it, or you can back up on your server. Now, understand one thing with WordPress. There's, as you've already discovered from what I've just shown you, there's the folders directory, but then there's also your database. Now, so here, where's my MAMP folder? So here is all your folders, right? But in your folder, that's not where your posts are. Your posts do not exist in here. All your content on your website, the only thing that will go in here are your images. Any text or anything like that does not exist in this space. It all goes into your database. So if your host provides a backup service, understand they are talking about this folder. They are not talking about your database. So that's where you still want a program like, and look, they have a 35% off coupon code. Ends today. Funny, I thought it ended yesterday or the day before or the day before that. So that's where Backup Buddy is a great plugin to go. Because all you need to do, if your website crashes, you could wipe the whole lot and then reinstall everything again, and it will recover both your folder structure as well as your database.
So if you like use WordPress for like having a gallery,
correct,
your images are they're on the hosted site, right? But you say they're also on the hosted site, but you say the text, like your blog or people's comments, they're someplace else then?
They're in your database.
Okay.
which is a whole
And the
separate
database-
directory.
And so that's not backed up that's not backed up by the host. That's exactly what we need to back up because the rest of it is backed up. Okay.
Well, when you use Backup Buddy, it'll back up the whole lot for you.
Okay, cool.
Yeah. So if you've got Backup Buddy or something like that, then that's fine. Duplicator is a great plugin. It's free and it allows you to move your site and back up your site, but it only does it won't back up automatically and it won't back up to your server. It'll back up to download. So I used when my clients don't want to fork out the money for Backup Buddy, I use WP Duplicator to move it from my domain, my local host, my personal computer here in my office, and I move that to their site. And they've got a video to see how easy it is. See, so they do.
What's that?
Everything.
The Backup Buddy. I haven't been Googling anything. Is that so? You pay one price and you get it, or is that like a subscription or what?
It is a subscription base.
Okay.
So here's your
Good Lord.
or a lifetime base. So for you guys, you would go $80 a year.
Okay.
Because that allows you to do 2 sites and 1 year. But the thing with it is, okay, WordPress is OpenGL, which means it is a free open source program. Every plugin and every theme that works on WordPress, the terms and conditions are that they must be open source. Okay, so the plugin itself is actually free. So it doesn't stop working at the end of your subscription. It just means you stop getting support and updates, which is what you're actually paying for. You're paying for the privilege to download it, and then you're paying for updates. Okay. So you don't have.
You're talking about this backup thing now.
Every program, whether it be theme or plugin.
Okay.
Even my plugin has a yearly subscription. But however, it's not going to stop working if you choose not to renew it. It just means you'll stop getting support and you'll stop getting updates.
Okay.
All right. So you pay you can pay this one off, and as long as it keeps working for you, you don't necessarily have to renew it. However, you're talking about a program that is accessing your database and your files. Do you really want to leave that out of date if it's let's say someone finds a security vulnerability in it and finds a way to hack a site through it, and they release an update that'll block that? Do you want to be the one that is running the old version? Because Backup Buddy has access to everything on your site, your files and your database. So any users, any registrations, anything on your site, Backup Buddy obviously has access to it.
And that worries you, or what? Does that worry you? That
no, it doesn't. It doesn't worry me, unless I was running an out of date version that suddenly, let's say, someone finds a vulnerability in it and finds a hack to it.
Yeah. Right. Okay.
Okay. All right, I think that's just about it, isn't it? Hopefully I explained that clearly and easily and succinctly.
I'm good.
Okay, I'm going to stop broadcasting this then. So it'll still be, you guys will still be